What's our next move?
I might have something for the election.
The President of the United States may have gone AWOL from the military.
Tonight, we have new information on the President's military service.
Hey, Mary, these blogs are saying that the memos can be recreated in Microsoft Word.
Several experts have raised serious questions.
Our story was about whether the president fulfilled his service. Nobody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about fonts and forgeries. And they hope to God the truth gets lost in the scrum.
Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. That was the trailer for the alleged nonfiction movie, Truth.
Gee, how'd you like it, Jeff?
Well, I'll be giving my review in a moment. The movie focuses on the Memogate scandal that was supposed to take down George W. Bush's 2004 re-election bid, but took down CBS nightly news anchor Dan Rather instead. Joining us now is the man whose blog is credited with helping bringing down Mr. Rather. His name is Matthew Sheffield. Matthew, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you can't see me, but here's the thing. I may have had a disgruntled look on my face after seeing the end of that trailer. Your thoughts on the movie, and were you as insulted as I was in terms of the content just making these two, Mapes and Redford, Rather look so heroic?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's certainly ironic that a movie that is nonstop lies is called Truth. I mean, that's the reality here, and you know, you've got the book. It was based on a book that the producer Mary Mapes wrote, which was basically a very self-serving book, and it's just, you know, it's complete fiction, and she's trying to distract people from what actually happened. So you know, the whole point of the movie is, well, you know, we're just trying to figure out whether he really had evaded his service.
Right, we're asking questions, and CBS is keeping us from asking questions, is basically the premise, that there were some serious issues that were raised as a result of the allegations against Bush, and regardless of the foundation of the argument being completely taken away, which was the documents were fabricated, they were false, and that's what the entire story is based on, that's almost brushed over in the movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's like saying, well, I'm just asking the question if America is really being run by reptilian aliens, and I don't have any evidence for it. But you know, just in case, you know, it's a serious issue that we need to talk about it.
Hey, Matthew, it's Rick Unger. I'm curious. Obviously, we can all agree that the documentation was not appropriate and certainly not enough to go with the story as they did. Do you believe that there was any truth behind the allegations and what they were talking about, or that the entire thing was just made up and false?
Well, the problem with the story is that they didn't spend enough time actually looking into it and reporting the other aspects of it. So,
and what would they have found if they did?
Well, again, we don't fully know because they stopped reporting on it. You know, as much as they would have. I mean, it fits within a long pattern of CBS under Rather. And he basically, when he was there as the top dog, it was basically a dictatorship under Dan Rather, that he had gotten multiple CBS News presidents fired. If you even looked at him the wrong way, like people at CBS, they told me, who had worked there, that you couldn't even look at him if you were too low on the totem pole.
Well, that's what they say about George Stephanopoulos now.
Yeah, well, I guess it must be a thing with these left-wing TV anchors.
Well, no, wait a minute. I have a little bit of a problem with that. You can look at me whenever you want.
And Matt, I think I could answer Rick's question, and that is...
Well, actually, I can't because I can't see it.
Well, you can't today.
Right,
you come in.
So, just to answer Rick's question, if there was something there, all right, so the documents are fabricated, but maybe Bush didn't show up for his military service, wouldn't another news organization picked up on the story and found the evidence that CBS was looking for and rushed on the air because they want to get it on before the 2004 election? That's what I always ask in these situations.
Yeah, well, and think about this. The other thing is, yeah, I mean, that was the story of the campaign, and if anybody had been able to substantiate it, and trust me, there were people after CBS stopped writing on it, working on it, that came down to Texas. I know a guy that went down there. He basically moved down there to try to figure out what was going on with it. And he never filed anything. So, I mean, again, it's not to say that that Bush may have gotten preferential treatment to get in there, but again, I mean, we have a president who, before him, who had already been elected president, who admitted he dodged the draft. So the idea that that's going to be an issue, even as it was on its own, on their terms, is nonsensical. And then you look at how CBS News covered another presidential scandal.
We'll have to wrap it up, Matt.
In 2012, and that was with the Benghazi scandal. CBS had an interview in the can with Barack Obama in which he explicitly was asked, was it an act of terrorism in Benghazi?
And Matt, we'll have to make that a conversation for another time. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But thanks for joining us from D.C. tonight. We appreciate your perspective.
Sure.
Okay, and we want to know what you think about the movie Truth. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and let us know. It finished 31st at the box office last weekend. Coming up next, we're going to read some of your viewer comments.